Hi, Shlomo here again. I guess you can tell I missed you because here I am back with the Reality Transurfing video, which I actually said that I will not do anymore. But this is an interesting topic, and a message I received from a friend who was looking to have his face reading on my website called Switch Your Reality, which I actually closed. And he sent me this message. Let me see. He sent me this message with this picture. And I actually looked at the picture before I read the message. And what I saw a very, very wise man, but not spiritual. And let me clarify right up front here what I mean by spiritual. A spiritual person to me is a person who can sense, feel inside that there is something beyond the five senses, beyond what the five senses can grasp. And it's not a religious person, it's not an artistic person. It has nothing to do with it. And it has definitely nothing to do with good or bad. It's just how I define spiritual on a very high level, because there is many grays in between a spiritual and non-spiritual person. And when I read faces, which I do quite often, I did it in my Healing Olive and I did it in this Switch Your Reality thing. That's the first thing that actually strikes me, and then I go deeper into the character and many other things. And then he sent me this message which said, I want to get a deeper connection with Source / God / Supreme Consciousness, and heart and mind coherence will be wonderful. Thank you. So obviously this is from Reality Transurfing, the heart and mind thing. And when I read that and I saw the face, it kind of brought call it an enlightenment. All of a sudden I realized something that I did not mention in any of my previous videos, and I don't think anybody actually mentioned it in any of the videos or all the other materials on the internet regarding Reality Transurfing. And what it is that it's not a one-size solution that fits all, but it is presented that way. Like we have a set of rules, we have a set of ideas, and okay, how to do it with the slides and with the intention. But it doesn't say that different people have to do it in different ways, because otherwise it's not going to work. So, like I said before, there is on the very high level, the spiritual and the non-spiritual. So let me start with the non-spiritual. Again, just to clarify, what I mean by that is a person who does not feel. He may know it in his mind because we read about it and we hear about it all the time, but that person does not feel inside, cannot actually know from a feeling that there is something beyond the five senses. So that's a non-spiritual person. And the interesting thing is that if you observe, you will realize, at least I realize, that a non-spiritual person has a much better and easier way to create a reality than a spiritual person. And I will explain. A non-spiritual person does not have to unite the heart with the mind. It's already united. It's all together, because there isn't that part where he needs to convince the heart to believe the mind. The heart always believes the mind in their case. And I'll give you some examples from history and from today, what I mean by that, why they can create the reality they like quite easily. Take, for example, somebody like Trump. Okay, that's a non-spiritual person. And when he focused on becoming president, he did not need to unite his heart and his mind, because they were united in the hatred to Obama. He wanted to get back at Obama. I don't know if you know, there was some kind of a party where Obama really, really insulted him, made fun of him with the Lion King and so on. And I think when I was watching that, I could see on his face that at that moment, he decided he's going to be the president. And guess what? He is the president. Other people like that, Stalin, for example, I don't know if you go that far in your knowledge of history, but Stalin was this kind of a person. And, he ruled this great nation, the Soviet Union. He just decided he's going to be there, and he became that. And he really had no emotions. He was like the extreme. He could probably just shoot somebody and then continue drink his coffee. Again, I'm not saying that every non-spiritual person is like that, but that's a very, very extreme example. Other people like that, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, see how they could manifest their reality they wanted? No problem. Now, when we go to a spiritual person, it becomes much more complicated. Then you really have to go by the rules that Vadim set in his books, which is you have to unite the heart and your mind. You have to take your mental mind idea and you have to make your heart actually accepted as your mission together with the mind, and then you can send it to the collective consciousness and you will get that reality. But it's not as simple. On the other hand, if you are a spiritual person, the things you can manifest are much, much, much more, I would say bigger, but they are way more important than the realities that, say, Trump or Stalin, all these people managed to manifest, because that was more of a selfish kind of a thing. It's like, I want to make money. I want to be I want to have the power. I want to be the leader of this or the president of this. I want to rule the world. Those are all physical realities that they manifest. But a spiritual person, if they can unite their heart and their mind, they can manifest beyond that. Jesus, for example, right? This Jewish rabbi, whatever, he manifested, he was a very spiritual person. Again, the other extreme. And he could manifest things that 2,000 years later, they still stand. And majority of the world actually are Christians. So this is what I was trying to tell you here. That you have to work with what you have, because you cannot really change yourself. It's very hard. So you have to learn to work properly with who you are. And this is actually the title of my video as well. So, bottom line. Again, if you cannot change yourself, learn to work properly with who you are. On a different subject, different topic, lately I've been getting messages from people that watch my videos, and many of them are know me from earlier episodes, like the Healing Olive thing. And a funny thing, they mention some interesting synchronicities when they watch the videos. And I received few of those. So it cannot be just a coincidence. And I'll read one of those to you right here. It's a message that I received, an email from a friend by the name of Bryce. He's probably going to hear me now. I was listening to your interview with Brian for his podcast Reality Revolution. And at the same time, I was browsing the internet looking at these philosophy coins from the Daily Stoic, whatever that is. As I was looking at the coin and looking at the back of the design, I read the inscription, "You could live life right now." So that's on the coin. As I was staring at this inscription while listening to your interview, you said how God was unable to live the game, and then you said you can live at any time you want. You said almost the exact same thing I was looking at, and it was crazy. So that's just one example, and I got quite a few of those. So just for fun or whatever, if you run into this kind of a synchronicity while you're listening to my videos, please share it with us. And to conclude, I received a message today from a Muslim friend, and she opened the message with, "Peace upon you, sir." Now, I know that greeting, I never used that, but I liked it. So I will say here, peace upon all of us. Thank you for watching.